I never thought a simple Tuesday could shatter everything I knew about family. But there I was, knee-deep in the chaos of St. Mary's Hospital in Boulder, Colorado, wiping sweat from my brow as monitors beeped like impatient crickets.
I'm Emily Hayes,
A registered nurse who's seen more heartbreak in one shift than most folks do in a lifetime.
That day,
I was running on black coffee and sheer willpower, covering for two sick colleagues while dodging a cranky doctor who barked orders like a drill sergeant. The Rocky Mountains loomed outside the windows, their peaks dusted with early snow. But inside, it was all fluorescent lights and the sterile scent of antiseptic. My phone vibrated in my scrub pocket, once, then twice. I ignored it during rounds. You don't check personal stuff when lives are on the line. But by the third buzz, that mom gut kicked in, the one that whispers trouble before your brain catches up. I slipped into the break room, heart pounding, and saw 7 missed calls from my daughter,
Sophie.
at 11 years old. She's the type who apologizes to the furniture if she bumps it, quiet, kind, always coloring within the lines. 7 calls? That screamed emergency. I hit redial with trembling fingers. Mom, her voice was small, laced with fear that hit me like a gut punch. Sophie. Honey, what's wrong?
The key.
It won't fit. I think they changed the lock. Her words tumbled out, cracking at the edges. I froze, my mind racing through the fog of exhaustion. We lived in my parents' old ranch house on the outskirts of town, a sprawling place with creaky wooden floors and views of the foothills. It was supposed to be temporary, but after Dad's illness, it became home. Who changed it? Grandma? Aunt Olivia? I don't know. Maybe. No one's answering the door. And it's starting to rain. The break room spun a little. My mother, Evelyn, had always been a force, sharp-tongued and unyielding, like the wind whipping through the canyons. But locking out her own granddaughter? Try knocking again. Call Grandma's cell. I'll be there as soon as I can. Okay, Mom. But I heard the doubt, the shiver in her voice. I shoved the phone away and powered through the next hour, telling myself it was a mix-up. Maybe the lock jammed from the damp mountain air. Maybe Sophie had the wrong key. But deep down, I knew better. Betrayal doesn't knock. It just shows up and flips your world upside down. 2 hours later, during a quick bathroom break, another text. Mom, they're inside. Lights are on. Please hurry. My blood turned to ice. I found my supervisor, a no-nonsense guy named Mike, and blurted, "Family emergency. Gotta go." He saw the fire in my eyes and nodded without argument. The drive from Boulder to our little town of Lyons was a blur, winding roads slick with rain. My old Ford pickup hydroplaning around curves. The Rockies blurred past, their granite faces indifferent to my rage. I wasn't a nurse anymore. I was a mama bear charging through the storm. Worst-case scenarios looped in my head. Sophie hypothermic, alone, wondering why her family had abandoned her. When I pulled into the gravel driveway, there she was curled under the porch overhang, soaked to the bone, her backpack a soggy sentinel beside her. The house lights glowed warmly inside, mocking us. I bolted from the truck, scooped her up. "Oh, baby, I'm so sorry." She trembled against me. I tried everything. They wouldn't open. The front door creaked open then, spilling light like an accusation. There stood Mom, Evelyn, holding a mug of tea as if this were a casual visit. Her silver hair was perfectly coiffed, her expression one of feigned surprise. "Emily, what's all this fuss?" "You changed the locks." It wasn't a question.
She sighed.
That long-suffering exhale she'd perfected over years of making me feel like the problem child. We needed some changes around here. Privacy. You know. You locked my daughter out in the rain. She's 11.
Mom, she's tough.
Like you always say. Behind her, my half-sister Olivia peeked out, her phone in hand, that smug look she wears when drama unfolds in her favor. Olivia's 5 years older. Always the golden child, mom's first from her previous marriage, pampered like a prize filly at the county fair. Emily, maybe we should talk inside, Olivia suggested, but her tone dripped with insincerity.
No.
We're done talking. I grabbed Sophie's hand and led her back to the truck. As we drove away, rain hammering the roof, Sophie whispered, "Why does Grandma hate us?" I swallowed hard. She doesn't hate you.
Sweetie.
She's just complicated. But inside, the truth burned. This wasn't new. It was decades in the making. Growing up in that house, nestled against the foothills, life was a constant comparison.
Dad.
Robert was a family doctor in town, always on call, smelling of coffee and clinic sanitizer. He loved me in his quiet way, pats on the back, stories about his patients, but he was gone more than present. Mom ruled the roost, favoring Olivia like she was the sun, and I was just a shadow. If Olivia spilled juice, it was accidents happen. If I did, it was clumsy and ungrateful. By high school, I couldn't wait to bolt. I hustled through community college, then nursing school, dreaming of independence. At 19, I met Sophie's dad, a charming rodeo guy who swept me off my feet with wild stories and cheap beers. Pregnant by 20, alone by 22 when he hit the road for better opportunities in Texas. I didn't chase him. I built a life for us in a tiny apartment in Boulder, scraping by on shifts and student loans. Then, 3 years ago, Dad retired and reached out. Emily, let's make up for lost time. He did weekly visits, burgers from the local diner, bonding with Sophie over stargazing in the backyard. She lit up around him, and for once, the house felt warm. But Mom resented it, her jealousy simmering like a pot about to boil over. When Dad got sick, lung cancer, the kind that sneaks up and doesn't let go, we moved in to help. I turned the place into a mini hospice, meds organized, meals prepped, everything running like clockwork. Mom played the devoted wife, but her wine glasses piled up, and her barbs sharpened. Dad passed 3 weeks before that fateful Tuesday, and the house changed overnight. Mom started refreshing things, painting Dad's study sage green, buying bunk beds for Olivia's kids. They'll visit more now, she'd say brightly, as if erasing Dad was progress. Olivia and her husband Brad started showing up every weekend, keys in hand, their laughter filling rooms that echoed with grief. I overheard Mom one night. Rent's sky high these days. You should move in full time. Olivia. Emily was only here for your dad anyway. It stung. But I bit my tongue. Until the locks. That night, after tucking Sophie into a motel bed, we crashed at a cheap place off Highway 36. I couldn't sleep. Rage morphed into resolve. Dad had mentioned a trust once. Vaguely.
During his treatments.
To take care of you and Sophie, he'd said. I dug through my emails and found a note from his lawyer, David Lawson. The next morning, I called David. Emily.
Good to hear from you.
What's up? Mom changed the locks. Kicked us out. A pause. Bring any papers you have. Come to the office now. David's office in downtown Lyons was cozy, with views of the St. Vrain River. He scanned the documents I'd grabbed from my glove box. Your dad set up a revocable living trust 2 years ago. The house is in it, and you're the sole beneficiary and trustee. Your mom's not on the deed, hasn't been since he transferred it. I stared. He never told me. He wanted it quiet. Protected. Relief washed over me, mixed with fresh grief. Dad had seen this coming, Mom's favoritism, the inevitable clash. What now? We serve an eviction notice. She's trespassing. It was that straightforward under Colorado law. Trusts bypass probate. Assets transfer seamlessly. But emotionally, a storm brewed. David drafted the notice right there, his fingers flying over the keyboard while I paced the small office, staring at framed photos of Rocky Mountain vistas. This gives her 3 days to vacate, he explained, printing it out. If she fights, we go to court for a forcible entry and detainer action. But with the trust clear and your police report. Police report? I hadn't thought that far. You need to file one for child endangerment. Locking an 11-year-old out in the elements. That's neglect under state law. I nodded.
Numb.
After leaving David's, I swung by the Lyons Police Department, a squat building near the town hall. The officer, a burly guy named Ramirez, listened stone-faced as I recounted the story.
We'll document it.
Might need photos of Sophie, any bruises from the cold. Just shivers and tears, I said, voice cracking. He typed it up, attached it to the report. You've got grounds. Family disputes like this? They get ugly. But the law's on your side. Armed with a notice, I drove back to the house that afternoon. Sophie was at a friend's. No way was I dragging her into this. I parked down the block, watching the house like a stakeout in one of those cop shows. Mom's sedan was there. Olivia's SUV too. They were hunkered down, probably plotting. David had advised serving it personally. So, I marched up the driveway, envelope in hand. My knock echoed like a gunshot. Mom answered, her eyes narrowing. Emily. Come to apologize. I thrust the papers at her. This is an eviction notice. The house is mine. Dad put it in trust for me and Sophie. She snatched them, scanning with a scoff. What nonsense is this? Robert would never.
He did.
2 years ago. You're trespassing. Olivia appeared, kids peeking from behind her. This is crazy. Mom's lived here forever. Check the deed. It's legal. I turned and walked away, heart hammering. Behind me, shouts erupted, Mom yelling about forgery, Olivia calling Brad. That night, in the motel, Sophie curled against me. When can we go home? Soon, baby. I promise. But sleep evaded me, memories flooding back. Dad's last days, him whispering about the trust, his hand weak in mine. I saw how she treats you.
Eminencia.
This is my way of making it right. Why hadn't he told Mom? Maybe he knew she'd contest it. In Colorado, living trusts are ironclad if set up right. No probate battles. Just clean transfer. But family? That's messier than a mudslide after spring thaw. The next day, my phone blew up. Text from Olivia. How could you do this to Mom? After everything? Voicemails from Mom. Voice dripping venom. Ungrateful brat. I'll fight this tooth and nail. David called, too. They've lawyered up. Some hotshot from Denver claiming undue influence, that you coerced your dad while nursing him. I laughed bitterly. Caring for a dying man is coercion now. We'll counter with medical records, witnesses. But file for emergency possession. The child neglect angle strengthens it.
I did.
attaching the police report. The court moved fast. Small-town judges hate family drama dragging on. 2 days later, approval came. Temporary possession granted to me pending hearing. Meanwhile, I pieced together more of Dad's plan. Rifling through old emails, I'd grabbed my laptop from the motel. I found scans of the trust docs. He'd amended it quietly, citing equitable distribution given Mom's favoritism. It hurt reading his words. Emily has borne the brunt of familial inequities.
He'd seen it all along.
Olivia showed up at my work that week, cornering me in the parking lot.
Please.
Mom's a wreck. Let's talk this out like family. Family? You mean the kind that locks kids out? I snapped. She teared up. It was a mistake. She thought you were moving out anyway.
Bull.
Dad wanted us safe. End of story. She left in a huff. But doubt crept in. Was I too harsh? Mom had raised me, flawed as she was. But then I pictured Sophie in the rain, and resolve hardened. The hearing was set for the following Monday in the Boulder County Courthouse, a modern building with mountain views that belied the tension inside. David prepped me. Stick to facts. Trust.
Date.
Neglect. Mom and Olivia arrived with their lawyer, a slick guy in a suit that screamed big city fees. Mom looked frail, playing the widow card. The judge, an older woman with sharp eyes, reviewed the docs. Ms. Hayes, she addressed me. You claim sole trusteeship? Yes, Your Honor. My father established it to protect the property. Their lawyer jumped in. Undue influence. She was his caregiver. Could have manipulated him. David countered. No evidence. Medical notes show he was lucid. Witnesses confirm his intent. The judge nodded. The trust is valid. Possession to Ms. Emily Hayes. Eviction to proceed if necessary. Mom gasped. Olivia glared daggers. As we left, Mom hissed, "You'll regret this." But in the hallway, something shifted. Olivia pulled me aside. Mom's talking about contesting the will too. Says Dad wasn't right in the head. There is no will. The trust supersedes it. But her words sparked suspicion. Was there more? Dad had mentioned other assets, a small investment account. Maybe. Back at the motel, I dug deeper. Using Dad's old login, he'd shared it during treatments. I accessed his bank statements. Odd transfers. Money to Olivia's account in the months before his death. Thousands. Was Mom siphoning funds? I called David. Possible embezzlement? We'll investigate. If true, it bolsters your case. The drama escalated, Trin Tam style. Like unraveling a family mystery. I felt like a detective in my own life, piecing clues from emails and records. Dad had emailed his accountant, concerned about unauthorized access. He'd suspected Mom. Sophie noticed my distraction.
Mom.
Are we winning? We're getting there. Kiddo. I hugged her, vowing to shield her from the ugliness. The eviction date loomed. Thursday, 10 a.m. Sheriff's deputies would enforce if needed. I prepped, packing essentials, steeling myself for the showdown. Thursday dawned crisp. The Rockies bathed in golden light, belying the storm ahead. I dropped Sophie at school. Just errands today, sweetie, and headed to the house, coffee in hand, nerves like live wires. David met me a block away. Deputies are en route. Stay calm. The driveway held 3 vehicles, Mom's sedan, Olivia's SUV, Brad's truck. They were dug in. 2 sheriff's cruisers pulled up. Deputies emerging, uniforms starched, faces neutral. I hung back by the curb, phone in pocket. As they knocked, The door swung open to Mom's indignant voice. What's this about?
Mom.
We have a court order for eviction, the lead deputy said, handing papers. Olivia appeared. Phone recording. This is harassment. My mom's a widow, you can't just. Orders clear. 15 minutes to grab essentials and vacate. A chaos erupted. Mom shouting about rights. Brad booming useless threats. Kids crying in the background. I watched from afar. Rain starting to spit, Colorado weather. Fickle as family. Mom spotted me. Pointed accusingly. She's the one. Forged everything. The deputy ignored her. Ushering them out. Olivia stormed past with bags. Glaring. Happy now?
Ain't.
Tearing the family apart. Brad lugged boxes. Muttering. Mom was last. Pausing on the porch. I hope this house haunts you. I met her eyes. It was Dad's gift. To us. She left without another word. Deputies handed me keys. All yours.
Mom.
Inside. The place felt violated, dishes abandoned. A wine stain on the carpet. I opened windows, letting fresh mountain air chase out the stale resentment. For the first time, it felt like mine. Picking up Sophie that afternoon. She beamed at the news. Home. Home. We walked in together. She raced room to room, claiming spaces. No more locks changing? Never. But as she settled, I pondered the deeper mystery. Those bank transfers, $20,000 to Olivia. I called David. Let's audit Dad's accounts. He agreed. If there's fraud, we can pursue restitution. Over the next weeks, the investigation unfolded like a slow-burn thriller. David's team subpoenaed records. Mom had accessed Dad's accounts using old passwords, transferring funds to help Olivia with bills. But emails showed coercion, Mom pressuring Dad during his illness. Olivia called one night, voice shaky.
Ain't.
Mom's out of control. She's blaming me for the money stuff. Money stuff. I played dumb.
She.
Borrowed from Dad. Said it was for the grandkids. Borrowed? That's theft. Silence. I didn't know. She said it was fine. We met at a neutral spot, a coffee shop in Boulder. Olivia looked worn. No smugness left. Mom's living with us now. It's hell, rearranging everything. Fighting with Brad. I sipped my latte. Why tell me? Because. Maybe we can fix this. Family mediation. I hesitated. The drama had drained me. But Dad's trust wasn't just about property, it was about fairness. Only if Mom admits what she did. She nodded. I'll try. The mediation session, arranged through David, was tense. In a conference room overlooking the Flatirons, Mom sat rigid, lawyer beside her. This is blackmail, she spat. No, David said. It's accountability. Return the funds, or we press charges for elder financial abuse. Under Colorado law, it's a felony, exploiting the vulnerable. Mom blanched. Evidence mounted, emails, bank logs. Her lawyer advised settling. Fine, she muttered. I'll repay for my savings. But the real breakthrough came when Sophie joined a follow-up session. Grandma, she said softly. Why'd you lock me out? Mom's facade cracked. Tears welled. I was grieving.
Scared.
Thought pushing you away would make it easier. Sophie frowned. Easier for who? That hung in the air. Olivia chimed in. Mom. We've all hurt. But Dad wanted unity. Not this. I added. The trust was his way of balancing scales.
Let's honor that.
Agreements were signed. Repayment plan. No contest to the trust. Mom moved to a senior community in town, independent, but close. Olivia and I started tentative coffee meetups, rebuilding bridges. It wasn't instant forgiveness, but a start. The house became our sanctuary, Sophie planting wildflowers in the yard, me hosting barbecues with work friends. The mystery of Dad's intentions resolved. He protected us, but hoped for healing. One evening, sorting Dad's old files, I found a letter. Emily, if things go south, use the trust wisely. But remember, family's not about winning, it's about finding peace. Tears came then. He'd known. 6 months post-eviction. Life settled into a rhythm as steady as the St. Vrain River after storm. The house, now truly ours, buzzed with new energy, Sophie's laughter echoing off walls we'd repainted in soft blues, evoking the Colorado sky. No more tiptoeing around Mom's moods. Instead, weekend hikes in the foothills, picnics by Lyon's sandstone cliffs. But echoes of the drama lingered. Gossip rippled through town, folks at the grocery store whispering about that Hayes family feud. I ignored it, focusing on work and Sophie. She thrived, joining a local 4-H club, raising chickens in the backyard.
Mom.
They're like family, fluffy and forgiving. Olivia and I met weekly now. Awkward at first, but warming. Brad left, she confessed one day over burgers at Oscar Blues. Mom's meddling was the last straw. Locked him out during a fight. Ironic. Ha! I chuckled. Karma's got a sense of humor. She does. Mom's in therapy at the senior center, talking about her past, her own tough childhood. That softened me. Mom's favoritism stemmed from her history, abandoned young, clinging to Olivia as her do-over. Understanding didn't excuse, but it humanized. One afternoon, Mom called. Emily,
Can we talk?
we met at her place, a cozy apartment with mountain views. She looked smaller, vulnerable. I was wrong. About everything. Grief twisted me. I nodded. It hurts Sophie most. I know. I'd like to apologize to her. We arranged a visit. Sophie was wary but open. In the living room, Mom knelt. Sweetie,
I'm sorry.
I was lost without Grandpa, but that's no excuse. Sophie hugged her tentatively. It's okay.
Grandma.
We all get rainy days. Tears flowed, mine included. It wasn't a fairy tale reunion, but a step toward mending. Legally, loose ends tied up. The repayment came in installments. David ensured compliance. No charges filed, settlement sufficed. In Colorado, family courts encourage resolution over retribution. The Trin-Tam element faded, but lessons endured. I'd uncovered not just financial secrets, but emotional ones. Dad's quiet observations, Mom's buried pain. Sophie and I started a tradition, Sunday dinners, inviting Olivia's kids. Laughter filled the house, bridging gaps. One night, toasting with root beer, Olivia said, Dad would have loved this. He would. I smiled, feeling his presence in the piece. Challenges arose. Mom relapsed into old habits occasionally, criticizing my parenting. But boundaries held. Mom, that's not helpful. Therapy helped us all. Work balanced out. I got a promotion, leading a team. Sophie a school, her resilience shining.
Mom.
That rain made me stronger, like a tree in the wind. Profound for an 11-year-old. She taught me, forgiveness isn't weakness, it's reclaiming power. As winter approached, snow blanketing the Rockies, I reflected on the journey. From betrayal's chill to warmth's embrace. We'd transformed. The house stood not as a trophy, but a haven. One crisp evening, stargazing with Sophie, like Dad used to, I whispered, "We're okay." "Better than okay," she replied. "We're us." During one hike in Rocky Mountain National Park, Sophie pointed to a resilient pine.
See?
Bent but not broken. Like us. We talked about Grandpa's trust, not just legal, but emotional. He trusted us to heal, I said. Olivia shared stories. Mom favored me because I reminded her of her lost youth. But it isolated you. Understanding bred empathy. Mom joined a dinner. Tentative but genuine. "I missed this," she admitted. Brad returned briefly. But the marriage dissolved amicably, Colorado's no-fault divorce smoothing it. Financially, the returned funds seeded Sophie's college account. Dad's legacy, I called it. Nights, I'd journal. Betrayal stings. But uncovering truths liberates. A year on, the scars faded like old trails in the foothills. The house thrived, wildflowers blooming where tension once rooted. Sophie, now 12, led a school project on family history, interviewing us all. "It's about roots and branches," she said. "Some break, but new ones grow." Mom integrated slowly, weekly visits, baking pies from scratch, sharing stories of her Wyoming upbringing, harsh winters shaping her toughness. "I was afraid of losing control," she confessed. "Pushed you away instead. Fear makes monsters of us all," I replied, borrowing from a book we'd read together. Olivia remarried, a kind rancher from nearby Longmont. Their wedding, small and sunny, included us. "Your family," she insisted. No more golden child divide. We were equals. The legal clarity paid off. Trust intact. No further disputes. David became a friend, advising on investments. "Your dad's foresight was genius, but the true gift was the lesson. Family isn't blood, it's choice. Effort. Forgiveness. We chose healing over hate, turning drama into depth." One summer day, picnicking by the river, Sophie asked,
Mom.
"What if it happens again?" "It won't. We communicate now." And we did open talks.
No secrets.
As sun set over the Rockies, painting skies orange, I felt gratitude. Betrayal birthed growth, rain nourished renewal. In the end, Dad's trust wasn't just property, it was faith in our resilience. We honored it by building bridges, proving that even shattered homes can rebuild stronger.
Kinder.
The story's moral whispered gently, hold space for pain, but make room for grace. In the West's vast landscapes, there's always horizon for hope. Word count, 456, expand. Expanded. Detail the wedding scene, vows under aspens, kids tossing petals. Mom toasting to second chances.
Post-wedding.
Family trip to Estes Park, hiking, bonding. Sophie's project won awards, highlighting reconciliation. I volunteered at a local shelter, helping families in crisis. Paying it forward, I told Sophie. Nights, we'd listen to Dad's old records, country tunes filling the house. Life's like the mountains, peaks and valleys. We climbed through betrayal, emerged wiser,